Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's video is something we have been waiting for like a month and a half. Too long. Sorry, it's been a minute. We've been a little sick. We've got a little bug, but we're back and we're better than ever because we are so excited. We're reacting to Maverick City on NPR Tiny Desk.
Yes.
Ooh. It's two of our favorite things. It's NPR Tiny Desks, which you guys know that we love, and Maverick City, which you guys know that we love. So last time we reacted to Brandon Lake with Elevation Worship, and if you guys know, people just kind of go from here to there, but I think he's ultimately with Maverick City, and Maverick City is a collective. He is his own thing, but I do think he's like connected and associated with Maverick City.
I'm super excited because I love Naomi Rain. Oh my gosh. Also, Chandler Moore confuses me.
Confuses us. I think this is going to be a good place to listen to his vocals.
I think he's absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
But I also don't understand how he can sing the way he can sing consistently, all the time, every night, all that kind of stuff.
We're going to definitely talk about his vocals if we hear him isolated on here, because he's got such an interesting and unique timbre.
Totally.
I'm so excited.
100%.
Okay, so without further ado, after the 9-minute long intro, let's get started.
Let's get started. We want to acknowledge first that worship leading and singing and musicianship and all that kind of stuff are not the same thing. And that what we are going to focus on in this channel right here, right now, is how to sing better in order to serve worship leading.
Ooh,
if that makes sense to you, please continue watching, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because we are here to talk about singing, talk about the voice, and hopefully you can use it for God's people. Awesome.
Hey. You're a man of your word, oh. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm so excited.
Some things are possible when we believe. No chains are breakable when we receive your way. You keep your promises. If you said it, we believe it. Hey, if you said it, we believe it. Hey, hey, if you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it. You're a man, you're a man of your word. If you said it, we believe it. You keep all of your promises. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you said it, we believe it. You're a man. You're a man. What's that? We have this confidence. You finish what you started. God, you have never failed. You won't start with me. You're present in every step, patient in every heartache. God, you have never failed. You won't start with me. You're not gonna start with me. Oh, say this, y'all. Say it. If you said it, I believe it. If you said it, I believe it. If you said it, I receive it. If you said it, I receive it. If you said it, then you mean it. If you said it, then you mean it. 'Cause I really, really need it. 'Cause I really, really need it. If you said it, I believe it.
Okay. We were too busy jamming on that.
Just jamming.
I love this so much. So
There's a baby over here.
there's a baby over here.
Noise.
She's gonna be talking to us. You
She's
good?
talking.
You
You
good?
good, you
All right,
good.
you good. So when we first started, we started talking about how Chandler Moore kind of confuses us a little bit, and I think it's a lot to do with that rasp. That it sounds like this is gonna sound bad. It's not bad. I'm literally just trying to describe what I'm hearing. It sounds like he's pushing through stuff. Like he's kind of he's a little bit fighting against something in his voice and pushing through it, and can, how he confused me is that I don't think he can sing as high as he just sings all the time. And no, like that stuff like that, like what he just sang.
Pushes past where he pushes. He exceeds your expectations.
My expectations of like what I think his voice could do just at my first listen.
I would say I can definitely hear, like, this is why we also compare vocals sometimes too, because then you can hear a little bit better what we're talking about. When we hear Brandon Lake sing, there's a clarity to his voice. Yeah. They'll probably sing in the same register.
Naomi Rain is so so clear.
So clear. Oof. But with Chandler, I feel like there's this like husky, kind of gritty. Yeah. But ultimately what we hear, like as voice teachers and as vocalists, what we hear with that is a little bit of inefficiency. Right? Resistance, right? Now, those words sound negative negative, but that's because we're talking about like efficiency and resonance. Yeah. But what surprises us is how he continues to do it over and over again, and it doesn't feel like it's holding him back, right? So there's something going on. He might have like calluses on his vocal folds. I think a lot of people are also going to be like, he's anointed. That's why he can do it. And you know what? Like, if we're going to talk about that, we're going to talk about that in another video. But
that's not what this channel
That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about like the mechanics of what's happening. So I think the reason why it surprises us and why we bring it up is because it's kind of breaking all the rules, which we talk about with Billie Eilish and we talk about with other vocalists where they don't have this clarity and this resonance that we strive for personally and with our students. But he's succeeding vocally.
And I would love to, if you see this, Chandler Moore, I would love to talk to you about just what does your voice feel like after you lead worship for 3 hours? You guys just came to Denver and our team went. We were unfortunately sick, but our whole team went. And they said it was 3 hours. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. So how do you sing for 3 hours like that? And what do you feel afterwards? Are you shot? Are you the type of person who's constantly working against it, or are you used to it at this point? There's a lot of questions I have.
Absolutely. So. I would also compare to like we talked with Demi Lovato. Her speaking voice was husky.
We talked with Demi Lovato. Oh my gosh! When did you talk? I didn't get to talk to Demi Lovato. What? What else? Who else have you talked to?
Insert round of applause for that fabulous joke. Yeah, that's right. Say boo, daddy, boo. I talked to Demi Lovato. We talked about this with Demi Lovato's video. Yeah. How her speaking voice is husky like her singing voice.
Sure.
That's consistent, right? I think he's the same. I don't think he's putting on this grit to sing.
Yeah,
I think that this is the nature of his voice.
Sure.
Which is just an observation.
Absolutely.
Love Court.
And I will say, some people, even with their voice being like that naturally as they speak, there are speech therapists who try to help people, because if you speak in certain ways, you can really mess up your voice a lot.
You can hurt yourself speaking almost more than singing sometimes, because we speak more than we do sing for most of us.
100%.
And there's a lot of people who cause a lot of damage because they're speaking like improperly, or inefficiently. Yeah.
100%.
I believe it. If you said it, I receive it. If you said it, I receive it. If you said it, then you need it. If you said it, then you need it. 'Cause I really, I am who you say I am. Hey, I am who you say I am. 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 If you say I'm forgiven, I am who you say I am. If you say I'm redeemed, I am who you say I am. What I feel does not define. I am who you say I am. If you said it, we believe it. If you said it, we believe it.
Worship leaders are the kings of transitions.
I got miracles on miracles, a million little miracles, yeah. Miracles on miracles, count your miracles, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't even count them. I got miracles on miracles, a million little miracles. Everywhere I look, I see all of the miracles on miracles. Count your miracles, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't even count them all. 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 1, 2, 3, 4.
right, what do you think?
I feel like, I mean, I don't feel like this is his most impressive singing ever.
No.
I think that something about his voice is it feels like he's speaking. And we talk about that a lot on this channel. But it literally feels like he is speaking to a pitch, right? Yeah. Like what we're going to talk about with this is not his most impressive singing I've ever heard, right? Yeah, like, we're not looking at Lion, which was, like, genuinely, like...
Wild.
Yeah, great. But I feel like the cool thing about it is that it seems effortless, right? Like, he literally just feels like he's talking.
I would say, though... In the last couple bits, he's working pretty hard.
You think so?
100%. You see it in his neck and all that kind of stuff.
I was actually going to mention the
his
neck.
His face turned red.
Interesting. Okay.
So, to me, that means he's pushing.
Kind of pushing.
And that's an effect, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
it's not that I don't think that that's okay either, because this is the other thing people kind of assume about our channel. Well, you're just supposed to sing, like... perfectly easy all the time, every time. No, it's just supposed to be, I would say that should be your baseline.
Well, I have an observation that I think might have to do with that. NPR tiny desks are supposed to be like stripped down acoustic, right?
Yeah.
So they have these microphones that are highly like sensitive. They're not using a monitoring system. So they're literally, he has no in-ears in.
Sure.
So think about it. If you are used to singing with feedback, right? Yeah. Like actual, accurate, and like really good sound engineers, really good, probably custom mold, like in-ear monitors. They don't have that. That, to me, would be super difficult to do.
100%.
Because it's vulnerable.
And when we find that when we don't have our in-ears mixed correctly or our voices loud enough, right? You don't want to drown out everybody else, but like loud enough to where you feel like you can hear yourself, you tend to over-sing. Because you're constantly pushing. You don't feel like you're loud. You don't feel like you're projecting, all that kind of stuff.
And I bet that room doesn't have great acoustics. It's an office building.
Yeah, it's an office building.
So think about that. So I noticed that too. I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. They don't actually have in-ears. So that means they don't have a monitoring system. So they're just listening. It's truly like an acoustic performance, right? The microphones are for us, not for them.
I wanted to talk about the vowels though real quick. Like miracles. Yeah. That's how you say it. Yeah. And like when we talk about pure vowels and all that kind of stuff, there's still adjustments that are always made, right? Because we sing in English. And this is actually even further where this is kind of like a drawl on top of it just being English. So I think that like that's part of why we like Brandon Lake so much.
I agree.
He sings how he speaks.
Yep.
And that's our goal ultimately. That's like pretty much our whole entire vocal philosophy.
Right. Well, and I think, I don't know, that might even be a little contradictory because sometimes we talk about like people in Australia singing with like an American accent or accentless. But like I think this
don't sing in an Australian accent.
I would say that yes, he is singing with a bit of a drawl. But I also think that it's not like hindering him, right? Like even like there's a parody, I think we talked about this, but there's a parody on TikTok of these two Australian singers like trying to sing their songs in an Australian accent. It is hindering to the song. Yeah. This I don't think is doing that. It's kind of like how country music, like American Western country.
But I feel
music.
like that's a choice. It's a choice to say miracle.
I noticed that too.
Miracle.
And you could even see his mouth, like it definitely closes more. Yeah.
Like that's a choice. That's an artistic choice and a choice of how he wants to sing it.
I definitely noticed that as well. Was he singing that? Can we try to listen to that really quick? Because this is where he impresses me a lot.
Miracles on miracles, a million little miracles. Yeah.
That is another reason why I love Brandon Lake is his little ad libs. And I think he goes from to it's super I think it's pretty forward. It cuts through, it projects, and I think that if you want to that's something that I've been trying to do more when I lead worship or even just when I sing is having nice projecting ad libs. And that's for me it seems probably like second nature to him, but for me it takes actual practice and work.
Well, that is interesting because I mean it's kind of hard sometimes to apply technique when you're doing those things that are a little bit more like artistic and creative, because that's like
another thing.
Yeah, that's another thing mentally. Not to say that he hasn't like thought of these beforehand or hasn't sung this song 1,000 times and like has things in his pocket, but absolutely that's another layer and level of like the mind game that is singing, because you have a million things going on in your head, but if you have that technique part of it to where that's just like
it's like when people
what you're
have
doing.
It's like, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's like when people have a really good hum.
Absolutely.
Right? It's something that bites too, but if you go right? And it's, you know, something's it's not clear, it's not cutting.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear it as much.
It's like deceivingly difficult.
Difficult. Yeah, it's only hard when you try to do it.
Right. Totally.
Miracles on miracles, count your miracles. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't even count them all.
One thing that I think Brandon Lake does differently is he's not as forward as a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think when he has space, it's not low space. I can't even count them all. It's not, I can't even count them all, right?
I
it's
would
not
agree, yeah.
It's not low space in your throat,
Yeah.
it's high space in your
Yeah.
in your head. You know, some people
Soft
would say
palate.
soft palate.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I just want you to think up while
Yeah,
you're trying
yeah.
to do stuff like that if you want to sing like that.
I also think that's why he's so capable of navigating like a lower chesty range and a
Yeah.
head voice falsetto,
Yeah.
because he keeps that resonance and that height in his
Yeah,
sound.
he doesn't push it in his
exactly.
chest.
Because
He's
that
like-
would make it really like it. Also, I think it would make his voice sound different.
Yeah.
Like he has like this chest voice, head voice thing. I feel like his voice always sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's just where like which register he's singing
Mm-hmm.
in, and that's like the goal for all of us, right? Like that's like literally the goal
Yeah.
in like singing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Love it.
So guys, we are Maverick City Music, and we are super excited to be here with NPR Tiny Desk Concerts. I think this was like such a dream for us. And we're gonna get into our next song, Jira.
Yes.
Ready?
Yeah. My testimony, I'll never be more loved than I am right now. I'm not holding you up, so there's nothing I can do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make my father proud. And I'll never be more loved than I am right now. Oh yeah.
Going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to call me out. You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown. You've never been closer than you are right now.
We call you.
Whew.
Talk about our vowels.
Talk about it.
Preach, preacher.
Tell him. Tell him about it.
Okay, we're gonna listen to it again, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Want to talk about?
Going through a storm.
Storm.
It's not storm.
Storm. Yeah.
Storm.
It's like so. It's like leaving her body.
So forward.
Ah, that was a good vowel.
We had to put this baby over here
She
because
insisted.
she's hungry or something.
Yeah.
We
okay.
don't know. We don't
Back
even
to-
know how
back
to
to
be
Naomi.
parents at all. I want to listen to this next section.
But I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to call me.
I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind. Right? Most people are going to go, I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind. Right?
It's just like that's a hard line.
That's
to
a
sing.
really hard line hanging out there, and especially going up there.
Also, she does a really good job of like staying on the vowel, even though there's a lot of consonants in that. Like, she's enunciating perfectly fine and like doing a great job. But like it feels like it's like this, right? It doesn't feel like blah 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 blah. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. She does a really good job.
And I think you said that earlier, where all of her sound is leaving her body.
Leaving
it's
her
not
body.
Getting absorbed in your back of your throat or in your chest or any of that kind of stuff. It's gone. And I think that like a lot of people, if you sang like that, to you it would sound crazy. It would sound too bright, too nasally, too this, too that. But like to everybody else, it's gonna be clear and nice and full and powerful and cut through everything else that's going on.
This is a silly thing to say, but she sounds like an instrument.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Like she literally, like, voice is an instrument. That's what we believe. That's philosophy. That's just how that we think that the voice is an instrument. But she sounds like she's like pushing buttons, which is what we all wish we could do with our voice, right? Like, I wish it was. I think
it's what you're trying to say is she's super consistent. Like, it's
she's
not
super consistent.
She doesn't feel like she's struggling with anything or navigating anything or.
But that's not what I mean. I mean, like, you know how like is it trombones that have mutes? Do trumpets also have mutes?
Yes.
Do all brass instruments have mutes?
Yes.
I feel like a lot of singers sing as if they had like a mute. Like it doesn't leave the body. It doesn't leave the instrument. Yeah.
Covering it up.
It's like she sounds like an instrument. Like it's like coming out.
Well, and that's what I mean. When most people hear it sound brash and nasally and bright, it's uncomfortable. It's scary. It's vulnerable.
To you. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay.
And so we put something over it, a mute. A lot of people just we purposefully take that edge off and don't.
That's brilliant.
Leave it on. I'm so good at this.
Wow. I wasn't even being sarcastic.
I haven't done this in a while.
So, long story short, Chase is a genius, and Naomi Raine is a really good singer.
Let's just keep going.
Let's just keep on keeping.
Call me out. You would cross it over.
I'm sorry. Out. It's It's not call me out. It's not out. It's
reading the rhythm of the wind to call me out.
Out. And in the recording we go out. Call me out. It's the way to do it. Get it forward, get it bright, get it out.
You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown.
How does he do that?
Drown.
That's how he does that.
Oh, his vowels are great.
Insane.
His vowels are great. I always just wonder what he's doing in here.
I feel like that's how he has success, though, is because his vowels are good.
Oh, yes.
Because I feel like if he didn't, his sound wouldn't really be very efficient. Yeah.
I mostly was just watching.
With her.
It's hard to not watch Naomi, at least for me, because she has the type of voice that I aspire to.
I would agree with that.
Also, her note choices are really good and make me go, oh.
Yeah.
You know, just one of those, oh.
She's so
really nice.
Let's listen to that line again, because I want to hear his vowel.
An ocean so I wouldn't drown.
They blend. Drown.
Because they're both doing the same vowel. Oh. Drown, not drown. Drown.
If you're a worship leader, you've sung this song, or you're going to sing this
song.
Or you're going to.
Or you sing it in your car while you're trying not to cry.
But I just mean, it's true. But in general, like, that is the key to blending on that line, because that line is tough.
Yeah.
And
we've sang this a bunch.
They're killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it.
You've never been closer than you are right now.
We call you Tara.
Jira. You are enough.
You are
Jira. You are enough. I will be content in every circumstance.
You are enough. You are enough.
Yeah.
nasal sound is coming from like here, like behind her eyes. We would say the singer's mask, all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to focus on I'm already loved is resonant, full, and bright. We say the same things over and over again.
It's because it is the same thing over and over again.
I just don't think you can say it enough.
I know.
Because even when people think that they're singing bright, you're probably not singing bright enough.
And by people, we mean us as well.
Oh, yeah.
This is literally
100%.
our practice every week when we're singing songs.
Yep.
Like, constantly giving each other feedback because it's hard to hear yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have a trusted source.
We can't.
Or record yourself. It's the only way you can really know if you're doing this well.
And I promise you, it gets easier. If you start singing with these really beautiful forward vowels, having the nasal resonance on top of projecting through your mouth and using all that, singing will be easier. You'll be able to sing higher, you'll be able to sing lower in a way where you don't have to push so hard because your body's amplifying everything all by itself.
The concept is simple, not easy.
Yeah.
But
it's
by
simple,
easy,
easy.
I understand what you were saying. Like
No,
you
I
were
love
saying easy in like the sense that it
effort.
Like
and I mean physical effort,
Yes.
not mental effort.
Not
Absolutely.
mental,
That's a very good distinction. I teach lessons. I teach voice lessons. Check it out. There's a link below. I teach lessons. And that's 90% of what I'm trying to get people to do is to have these nice forward vowels, and all of a sudden you hear clarity, you hear power and just a cutting tone that really is just magic.
Absolutely.
It's magic.
I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I could imagine. And that is enough. If he dresses the lilies with beauty and splendor.
Okay. If he dresses the lilies. Melia can't sing right now because she's got
broken.
she's got
I could try it,
really
but-
bad. Let's hear what you got.
If he no, I
Yeah,
cannot.
don't do it. Melia's been coughing for 4 weeks straight.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia, that's what it was. If he dresses the lilies, if he dresses the lilies, right? It's
That's nice.
if you give it any less.
Yeah.
If he dresses, it sounds painful. It sounds like
Yeah.
it's really difficult. But I can go, if he dresses the lilies, right?
Wow.
And I'm doing this again as usual
As always.
because I'm trying to feel my tongue. What I do is I place my thumb where my neck meets my chin, and I'm trying to feel my tongue.
Yeah.
And my tongue wants to drop. It wants to go if it wants to, but I don't push against it. This is mostly just to remind me to relax my tongue, let it do what it knows how to do. You know, if he dresses the lilies, right? The stuff like that, where it's if you keep this forward, if you keep the space high, you're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be full. It's gonna be bright. It's gonna be wonderful.
And then you can sing for more than an hour.
And then you can sing for more than an hour because you're not like pushing so hard.
Or like again, if you guys are
make
worship
it
leaders, you probably have more than one service.
Maybe you have more than one service.
You know what I
Maybe
mean?
you're
Like,
singing
this
5
is a
songs.
reality, yeah.
Or, even if you have one service, but let's say you're the only one on stage.
Yep.
Oh, you probably it's tougher to do jira. But
still,
'cause
just
it's like a
any
duet.
sort of song.
But you have to sing 5 songs in a row or 4 songs in a row, and it's just you.
Yep. These
longevity and efficiency matters.
Yep.
How much more will it clothe you? How much more will it clothe you? If he watches over every sparrow, how much more does he love you? 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 How much
More, not more.
You never thought that O could be nasal.
Oh gosh, let me see. How much more does he love you? How much? Ooh, that's tough.
You didn't.
How much more? I had it last time. More does he love you? More Yeah. It's tough.
That's nuts.
Just watch, like, you can see, there's a good angle because you can see her chin, you can see her tongue. She's not dropping anything. It's here. More.
Yeah.
Love it.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
Jira, he loves you. Jira, he loves you. So don't you worry, no. Don't you worry, no. Don't you worry, no. Don't you worry, no. Jira, you are enough. You are enough. So I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough.
Sorry, I have a note. She is not singing on a diphthong. She is truly having a closed forward vowel.
Intentional singular vowel.
I will be content.
I would also say diphthongs are a mixture of two vowels. She's singing one vowel.
Well, and like I feel like a lot of times what people might want to do is have like a more open vowel and then move at the very end to a closed vowel.
Taint.
Content. Like
Taint.
in every circumstance. Stance. You know what I mean? Like
Content. Like tent.
she is staying on one vowel for the word, and it's a very forward nasal vowel.
Yeah. I will be content.
Exactly.
In every circumstance. Stance. Tent. I will be content.
Yeah.
In every circumstance you
Exactly.
are. Yeah. It's they're the same, and like you wouldn't think that content and circumstance are the same vowel, but
they are.
But they are.
Yeah.
Try it.
So good.
Yeah. I think, and we try not to say placement. I mean, we do sometimes.
No, as more of an after. It's like
it's an afterthought. It's not where you it's not an active
doing
thing.
it,
I'm going to stick this in my nose and my mouth.
Right.
No. But her placement is so consistent.
Yes.
And full and rich and efficient and all of the things that we love in singers. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And also she's an artist on top of that. Like her, and that's what I mean by her note choices. So like not only is she singing really well, but she's creative in her note choices in a way that gives me the stank face. You know, gives me just a ooh.
Yeah.
You know? Ooh.
Also the piano.
Also the keys. Yeah. Chandler Moore. Mm-hmm. Please call us.
Please.
I might call you, but please pick up.
Please answer.
If he dresses the lilies with beauty and splendor, how much more will he clothe you? How much more will he clothe you? If he watches over every sparrow, how much more does he love you? How much more does he love you?
Hey, I want to say something real quick. I feel like some people don't know what that song means, and that word Jireh, it literally means the one who provides, God who provides. It's short for Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who will provide. And so it's kind of like, what does Jireh mean? But it's just that God provides. He reigns on the just and the unjust. He is benevolent and loving to everybody. And so many people think that God is angry and mad, but that's not true. God is love, and that's what we believe. And so we just wanted to share that. And so we were able to recently go into the prisons and have been ministering there and just showing people that society often forgets about, that God loves them.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Man, that's still one of my favorites.
I know.
Okay.
I love that song. So we're going to break this up into two parts. That was amazing. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a great example for vocalists in worship. It's just got a lot of great examples of difficult melodies that you can't do without having some really good technique.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those that really challenges you.
But I also think, though, it's like leading it is kind of difficult, but I think that it's as a member of the congregation, you can follow along pretty easily, and you can pick it up quickly.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think, a sign of a really good worship song.
Absolutely.
Something that serves the congregation in a way that they can
follow,
raise their voices for it as well.
Totally.
If you liked this video, we did, and and this is a wonderful time. So if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We are Chase and Melia, and we are just here to talk to you about singing, try to teach you voice as we learn it ourselves from these amazing people.
Yep. Stay tuned for part 2. Make sure you hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss it.
Don't want to miss it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next time.